Hey,
Hi.
Sara Maria. How are you?
Good, and nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. So we're here with Sara Maria Hasbun from Meridian Linguistics, and Meridian Linguistics is a partner of Smartcat. So I'd like to start by just asking if you could tell us about your company, Sara Maria.
Sure, no problem. So Meridian Linguistics was founded in about 2013. It's based in Hong Kong. We have about 3,000 freelancers based all over the world and project managers in all time zones. And we started primarily as a Korean company because there's a lot of Korean demand, but from there expanded quickly into Chinese, Japanese, then into the Middle Eastern languages, and now we pretty much handle most high demand languages.
So you live in Hong Kong.
I actually live in Korea.
You live in Korea.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
interesting. Tell us about what it's like to live in Korea and work with translators in Korea and China.
Yeah, definitely. Korea is a great place to be positioned if you're in the language services industry because it's such an exciting country for what they're doing right now. They're globalizing really fast. They're really excited about internationalizing. And there's so much demand for Korean translation. So I actually began kind of by accident. I was freelancing as a translator and I didn't do Korean. But because I was based in Korea, I was getting so many requests for this language pair, which I would hand off to my colleagues. After a while, I realized that there was a huge market opportunity. I should start a company to handle all of these requests. And from there, it kind of snowballed and just grew around me until I realized that I was essentially operating this company without even having prepared for that. And so we put together a team, and we started getting so much business from that. And then from there, we started expanding into other languages. And yeah, it's a very exciting market to be in. Korean translators are amazing to work with, and yeah, we're very, very happy about it.
So that's really interesting. You are from the United States, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And you live in Korea, and you must have found between your cultural background and your current location and skill set that you fill some niches. Tell us what you guys do better than anyone else.
Well, we do better than anyone else. Well, I suppose we started in the legal industry. There's a lot of demand, obviously, for Korean into English, as well as Korean into Chinese, Korean into Japanese, and that's something that I think was pretty difficult for our American clients and European clients to find because
So some kind of strange, sorry to interrupt, but strange
Yeah.
language pairs, right?
Yeah, well, strange maybe for
For the American
Americans and for
market.
Europeans,
Yeah.
but quite common in the Asian part of the world.
There you go.
So we saw that there was a real disconnect in the demand and the supply in terms of being able to actually find vendors in these pairs.
Right.
Obviously they exist, but in the American market and the European market, we're so used to going through English all the time. Everyone just assumes you work into English or out of English, but of course there's so many other languages out there in this world. So when we started filling that niche, our business just really exploded because there were so many clients that realized, oh, we can go find a vendor that works directly from Chinese to Korean. We don't have to go through English. We don't have to do relay. And that saves a lot of, it really helps with quality. It really helps with cost, obviously. You don't have to hire two translators. We're not playing a game of telephone. So that's something we became really good at, was finding these sometimes obscure pairs, sometimes pairs that are not that obscure, but maybe are harder to find for our Western clients.
Interesting. So tell us about how Smartcat has enabled your business to do what they do.
So Smartcat for us, we were most excited when we first started in the project management capabilities.
Okay.
So we handle a lot of very high volume, very rush jobs for our clients. Our clients are often in fields like legal or technology, and they need their documents yesterday, basically.
Sure.
They schedule all their time for their engineering, they schedule time for their quality assurance on their end, and then they remember that translation is also a very important part of it. So we often don't have very much time to get the job done. So we'll get a request, say, on a Sunday, they've got 40 pages of contracts, 40 pages of patents that they need the next day. How can we possibly get it done in time? Well, one thing that we've definitely leveraged is time zones. We have translators working across all different time zones. We have Korean translators in France, we have Chinese translators in the US, and we make sure that we leverage that to get rush documents. But one of the most difficult things is splitting these documents if you are going to be sending documents from translator to translator in different time zones, is making sure that everything gets translated, that there's no text missing at the boundaries, making sure that it's all consistent, and then handling any last minute issues that come up with translator availability, with deadlines being met. And the nice thing about Smartcat was, first of all, in terms of assigning the projects, we could ask the translator, how many words do you want to take? 2,000 words, 5,000 words, what can you handle by deadline? And we could very easily click into Smartcat, 2,000 words to this translator.
So the split works nice for you guys.
The split works so nice.
Absolutely, with what you're describing.
There's no more of saying, you can take up to Annex 12, page 4, not including the title, that sort of thing. It was very confusing to deal with. Inevitably, a translator would misread the directions because they're focusing on trying to get the translation to you on time, and you'd end up with little bits of missing text and all kinds of difficulties with consistency. So that was really amazing.
Can I ask you, with this advanced functionality and the splitting and moving all of the translators into a system where they can work together, what was the ramp-up cost for you?
The ramp-up cost was essentially zero. Maybe a little bit of time to train our project managers on how to use it. The translators essentially can onboard immediately. We always tell them from the very beginning when we email them, we tell them, listen, we've got this CAT tool, it's online, it's free, and we do sometimes get a little bit of pushback because most CAT tools do take some onboarding time.
Sure, usually there's some sort of learning curve.
Right, but Smartcat is actually, it's quite intuitive, it's very intuitive. So our translators essentially will email, sometimes it's the first time we're even working with this translator. We'll say, you've got to trust us, get on Smartcat, you can come to us if you have any questions, you can email us, we're here. And 2 seconds later, we get the little notification that says, so-and-so has joined Smartcat, is on your team. And usually they email us and say, oh, this actually looks pretty easy to use, I think
Cool.
this will be fine.
Even for Asian languages?
Even for Asian languages.
That's great.
And that's actually one of the reasons we particularly like Smartcat, because we work with a lot of languages now that are in countries that are developing, that maybe have lower salaries, and a lot of our translators just can't afford the price of these CAT tools that are used in the rest of the industry. So we really like that we can work with, a Pashto translator or a Spanish translator living in some other country, and we can say, listen, we already have the CAT tool handled for you. Just go online, you don't have to purchase anything, you can even handle files from other softwares, and you won't have to pay for those softwares, and they get really excited about that. So that's really nice that we can offer that.
So we're actually really happy that we're able to talk about these cases where we get rid of barriers to entry. That's really what we find to be very important in our industry. We want everybody to be able to work together seamlessly. So I'm glad it's working for you. I'm really interested to know a little bit more about how partnership has benefited you with Smartcat. So we have the partnership program at Smartcat. Meridian is a member of that, so you receive certain benefits and things from being a partner. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely have gotten work through Smartcat.
Really?
Through Smartcat clients. Yeah, definitely. That was very beneficial to us. We had a very large project from a really important client that we were very excited about.
Okay.
So not only have we used it for our vendors, but we've actually gotten work through Smartcat.
I'm glad that's worked. And yes, our partnership program really gets our closest collaborators in the place to be prepared to help us out when important requests come directly to Smartcat from clients of ours. And I thank Meridian on behalf of Smartcat for being in that program of ours.
Definitely.
So I guess the one last question that I have is, what would you like to say about your predictions on where translation is heading in the next couple of years?
Right. Well, I think that the translation industry is really exciting right now, particularly because just demand is exploding. Globalization is happening, and the last real barrier that we have is language. So we have the internet everywhere, we have Slack, we have Skype, there's really no other barriers to us being able to work with people all over the world. The last thing is language, and it's not a solved problem, it is not close to becoming a solved problem. So there's so many opportunities now for people speaking languages all over the world to join up and get involved as a translator, as a linguist, as an interpreter, as a terminologist. There's a billion different opportunities for linguists out there now. So really for us, it's just a matter of making sure that we can handle this demand, handle it with consistency, handle it without sacrificing quality, and handle it in a way that's affordable and valuable to our clients.
Excellent. I couldn't agree more on every point. So Meridian Linguistics, fantastic Smartcat partner. Thank you so much for taking the time, and I'm glad that we have this great business relationship already. So
Me too. Great.
great
Thank
to talk
you so
to you.
much.
Thank you.